Alright, hopefully you can hear me just fine. You can fast forward about 30 seconds while I get online with my sound and make sure that it's good to go real quick. No, it doesn't sound good enough. Well, maybe it does. Hold up. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Alright, that's solid. So I tried doing this before, but my last stream, some reason, it started glitching in the middle of an hour and a half stream. So now we're just going to redo this fighter episode. So this time I'm just going to start with this set. This is the Chimeric Armor Set, not counting the shield. I might as well just take that off right now. Alright. So this is the Mystic Knight Armor Set that I've determined is better than the Gran Soren set that I showed during that video. So if you're getting pointed here, this is the set. In order to get it, you're going to go to Soulflayer Canyon. You go all the way to the bottom to Leaper's Ledge, and on your way out on the right hand side, you'll run into chests 6 and 4. Those chests will have the gauntlets, and then chest number 6, also on the ladders on the way up, will have the armet. Actually, no, it's chest number 6 that has the gauntlets, and the armet, which is the helmet here. And then for the boots and the armor, the half plate here, the very first chest in Bluemoon Tower on your left hand side when you enter, that's going to have the boots. And then upstairs, chest number 14, just look in the description for chest number 14. You're going to need levitate to get to it, so go ahead and bring yourself a staff there to get levitate with. And it's going to be chest number 14 for this armor here. So what does it do for you? Why swap from circuit coat to this? My audio right now. All right, audio check again. All right, we're back online. Good. So the reason is you see that you get both strength and magic from this chimeric set. All these pieces. So that's why you want the chimeric set. You can go ahead and unequip them all. Get set up for stage 1 of the fighter build.
Have your pick. What will it be today?
Where is it? Where is it?
What will it be today? Have your come.
Alright, so we're going to take this build all the way. Where is it? Right here, Catacombs. Alright, I'm going to show you a few things while we're here. Down here on the usual beach, you'll notice there's some fishing pools, right? Where you can grab some fish from. I wonder if there's one over here. I don't think so. But, oh, here we are. Yeah. Oh, you get large fish from there? Nice. Alright. So remember that spot. And then there's going to be some more spots. At least one other down here. Lucky. There's one right there behind those rocks. That one primarily gives small fish, though, in my experience. And then over here, we're going to climb up. Jump across the rocks. Climb up again. Try to get a grip somewhere. There we go. And then this will be your first chance in the fighter save game to save scum. Alright, so this is Judgment. This is a warrior weapon. If you didn't get the two-hander, you can also grab this. I'll do it the long way this time, just to show you how to save scum. So you click in without saving, log right back in. Takes forever compared to just using the God's Bane to self-delete, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. You get to listen to this rocking soundtrack while it's happening. Alright, let's try it again. Alright, we got Judgment again. This time I'm going to make it much quicker. So you can only do this after you've beaten Dragon, by the way. After you've beaten Dragon, you get this item. It'll make your ability to respawn much faster. So remember, whenever I say you need to save scum something, you're basically doing it that long way. What the heck? Last time I did this, I got it my first try. But that stream went. I'm mad that stream sound went bad halfway through because that was an amazing first try. There we go. Iron Shield. We'll take it. So I already had one just in case, but we're going to take this one. And this is chest number 5 for Unusual Beach / Street Sea Breeze Pass. Sea Breeze Trail. There's a secret token down here. Alright, so why do we go out our way to get this shield? Well, because it's free. And now we're going to go to where we can buy the sword that I'm wearing, which is the trusty sword. Normally, Reynard would be standing right about here if you're actually in stage 1. You could utilize him in order to get your stuff upgraded,
We can have your pick.
enhanced.
What will it be today?
You could buy
What will it be? Have your pick. Come again.
so when you first get here, after safe summoning this shield, you'd buy this trusty sword off of him, and then you just 1-star them both. All right, let me get back on this. All right, so let's go over skills real fast while we're still in stage 1, because what you spend your discipline points on matters, right? Oh, you can't go on the training grounds. That's trash. Absolute garbage. All right, well, I have a spot, even if it's halfway broken down. No, don't slide all the way off. Okay. There we go. All right, well, now we're up here. So I want to go over the basic skills for fighter real fast. This is block. Just hold your left bumper or whatever the equivalent is, and you'll be able to block and now access your shield skills. Now, your shield skills, your timing of your block matters. Now, you won't be able to do an actual time block until you have bought the skill called, I think it's deflect. Yeah, deflect. But once you have deflect and your timing's right, when you block at the exact right time, you'll take no stamina damage. You'll stagger the enemy, or hopefully you'll stagger the enemy, and you'll also do a little bit of damage to them at the same time. Nihilo just put out an awesome video about it like a couple weeks ago. If you really want to get deep into the mechanics of blocking, I highly recommend it. It'll teach you a lot. Now, for your skills, your highest DPS skill that you'll ever have for fighter, but you won't have it now, so this is a late game tip, not an early game getting strong tip. It's Symbol Onslaught. That does more DPS, more damage per second than any other skill the fighter has once you have 2 Bloody Knuckles and special BBI gauntlets. Now, you're not going to get those for another 50 hours if you're just starting the game, so don't worry about that. Another skill you have is Sheltered Assault. It's just this, you just stab at the enemy. It's okay. It lets you guard yourself from the front. If you're only dealing with one enemy, it's pretty good. If you're dealing with multiple enemies who can get around you and start smacking you in the side of the head or behind, yeah, not so great. The way this game works is you're normally not only fighting just one enemy. And then last up is Shield Storm. So Shield Storm, I had a chance to play around with a little bit in the last time I tried to do this, and it actually worked pretty darn well, I have to say. Well, here's the deal. So, if you use it correctly, right, which is like a counterattack, or alternatively, if you use it as a guard break, let's say a ogre is guarding his face, or some type of skeleton knight with a shield is guarding themselves, or even just a soldier of some type is guarding themselves, that'll guard break them. And then once they're nice and open and easy to like stagger and knock down, you go ahead and hit them with something like that. Antler Toss on your sword is one of your highest knockback and damage skills combined. It's just really, really good. And if it's a big enemy, it'll knock it down. If it's a small enemy, it'll knock it up. Heavenward Lash is like your harpy killer. So one quick easy way to contrast warrior versus fighter is your aerial skills. As you can see, your jumping heavy sucks, and so does your jumping light. Nothing hits above your head. Jumping heavy kind of hits above your head, but it's like, eh. Jumping heavy is really good for hitting ghosts, though, because of how far the blade goes from your body. Jumping light, I don't think you'll ever have a reason to use this Eve. Like, this just doesn't make sense to use. I'm gonna keep it real with you. This is trash. Your other basic skills are actually pretty good though. This is onslaught. 3 hits. But you'll almost always just use dire onslaught. 1, 2, wait. 1, 1, 2, 3. And that just gives you 5 hits instead of 3. And then you can even stretch it to 6 if you go from... Wait, I messed that up. There we go. There's 6. Just gotta mix in the heavy attack at the end. And then you can always mix in your skills to do something else as well. Alright, next we have to talk about counterattacks. So we've talked about an anti-air attack. By the way, your antler toss can also hit above your head, but it's kind of slow. It's not as reliable as Heavenward Lash, which just straight up hits as a fan. But your counterattack is going to be this one. Hindsight sweep. And you can do it like this. And you can... Alright, so if you do nothing, it takes you back and then forward it into the enemy. Or if you press forward, it does the same thing. If you press backwards, it'll scoot you back. So what you can do is you can kind of use it as an advancing attack. Like this. Kind of just hit the angles a little bit. Because you can't exactly turn around. But in any case, if you use it when an enemy is about to hit you, it doesn't even matter if it's that enemy that was about to hit you, but if any enemy is about to hit you, and then you make contact with the slash part, it'll slow down time a little bit, and you'll get a much harder hit. Alright, we'll go over some of the other skills that aren't as good.
We can have your pick. What will it be today? Have your pick. Any you like. What will it be today?
Alright, so for shields, you have the option of also using shield summons to try to get harpies down. Don't upgrade to shield bash because that just makes it too effective. And also adds extra frames to the animation that make you slower and make you more vulnerable. You have the option of using that if you want to, but honestly, if you have Heavenward Lash, you don't need it. Unless your goal is to make your pawn use it in order to be a tank. In that case, go crazy. All right, Legion's Bite slash Dragon's Maw. Legion's Bite and Compass Slash are two peas in a pod. So both of these are skills that you definitely do not want to upgrade at first, at least. Compass Slash you never ever want to upgrade, because if you ever deign to become a Mystic Knight, Compass Slash will fire more cannonballs from your magic cannon than Full Moon Slash will, at least. Legion's Bite versus Dragon's Maw. Alright. Again, just like Compass Slash, it hits harder, but it has less hits. But in this case, it might actually matter when you're trying to guard break an enemy. And that means in the longer term. Now, ultimately, at the end of the day, yes, you will probably end up upgrading this to Dragon's Maw, but just in the short term, definitely when you're young in the game, don't bother. And Burst Strike is the last one. You got it in the beginning of the game as Blank Strike. It's alright, but Hindsight Sweep does more knockback. Antler Toss does more knockback. Heavenward Lash does something it can't do. It's just good for closing short distances in combat.
What will it be today? Have your pick. Come again.
Alright. So with that, I believe we are done with the skill display portion of this. So now we've got our Iron Shield, we've got our trusty sword. In order to finish up Act 1, what we should do is go ahead and give Mercedes as many cloud wines as she needs in order to turn pink. Once she starts getting a chime around her when we talk to her and she's glowing pink, that's when you can stop giving her cloud wines. Where do you get cloud wines? Well, you can buy them for about 700 a pop. I think it's like 600 something a pop, 750 a pop from Reynard here. Again, he's just going to be our belly button for the start of the game. He should be selling 12 of them bad boys, and we're going to give as many as it takes to our girl here. She'll be standing somewhere around here before we get into a fight with the big old snake. So when she's asking us to rest, we're just going to give her some cloud wine instead. Why are we doing this? Well, it's because she's going to give us the best shield in the game pretty soon. If we don't do it, she won't. And there's no way to get back to it. Besides New Game Plus. Alright, so actually before we ward. As you're escorting the ox with a pink Mercedes up through Moonspit Pass, make sure you're killing off all the harpies you can, and as you're killing them off, you get at least 5 harpy pinion. You'll need that to 3-star your trusty sword when you get the Gran Soren. And that'll be it for Act 1. Let's go to Gran Soren. Alright, so here's Gran Soren. Normally you won't approach it from this angle. But when you first enter, you'll be coming in through this gate right here. Some creepy dude will talk to you and tell you, hey, Come into this dark alley with me. Let's have a conversation. Here's creepy dude. And then you'll be able to enter this end eventually.
We can. It is our prey. Have your pick. Any you like. What will it be today? Have your pick. What will it be today?
Once you get here, you'll be able to go to your box and you'll be able to draw a couple of interesting things. So you'll have a not a regular fairy stand, but an eternal fairy stone sitting in your box. And you also have two special armor sets.
Any you like. What will it be today?
You'll have the set of Odon armor, which is for males only. And you'll have the set of Queen's clothing, which is for females only. Now, even at 2 stars, you'll see that the set of Queen's clothing is way stronger than this set of Odon armor. In fact, it's so much stronger than the set of Odon armor that it's actually stronger than all the other armors in the game as well. With the exception of stuff that's in Bitter Black Island, stuff that you can only get from beating a bonus boss called Dragon online version, and the Holy Set, which is like the strongest post Dragon set that isn't Bitter Black. Otherwise, this is stronger than all of it, or at least on par. So if you have this, then you've pretty much got your armor for the rest of the game. But if you're a male, and a lot of us are, or you're RPing a male, then yeah. Get this in 2 star. It's still very strong, it's just not super duper overpowered.
What will it be to have your pick? Come again.
In order to 2 star, you're going to go... Where's Mercedes at? Not Mercedes. Where's Madeline at? Calling her the wrong name. She might be cross with me. Oh well, whatever. Alright, so... You would take all your items, and then you 3 star your trusty sword with the harpy pin. You would already have the 1 star you need for that one, and then you 2 star your set of Odon armor with 2 foreign knives. Alright. And 4 knives are tools that you can buy from Malin. I think as long as you escort her to Gran Soren, she'll open up her shop. Or, excuse me, you have to go back to Cockatrice after fighting the Hydra. And then you can escort her to the encampment, and from there she'll find her way to Gran Soren. And she'll be usually waiting inside of here, but she's not here today. Alright. So that's how we start stage 2. The last thing we're going to grab while we're in stage 2 is going to be Eden's Warden. We're going to do that while we're doing a quest. After you complete the quest inside the Everfall over here, which is inside the Pond Guild, you're going to be sent up to this dude over here who's going to give you Wyrm Hunt quests. He's going to have 4 different quests. One of them's going to say, like, what is it, like hunt down Salvation members or something like that? Like, yeah, I forgot the exact terminology. It's going to be seeking salvation. You're going to take Seeking Salvation, which takes place in the Catacombs over here. And then you're going to fight your way through the Catacombs, and you're eventually going to get out of the Catacombs over here. But as you're fighting your way out of the Catacombs, you will come across a chest number 8 in the Catacombs. Again, look in the description of this video, and while you're down there, remember to like, remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Chest number 8 is going to have the Eden's Warden. That is a fire sword. Now, let's compare it to what we already have, which is the 3-star Trusty Sword. So, Trusty Sword at 3 stars was 131 strength, right? When we get Eden's Warden here, it's going to start out with 120 strength and 170 magic. However, and that's good enough to immediately equip it against the enemies in the Catacombs, because it's going to be strong against them because it's fire. However, we can immediately, because it's going to take Necrophagous Loin to upgrade, we can immediately upgrade to +2, which is going to take it to 141 strength, so it's already stronger than a 3-star Trusty Sword. And then on top of that, it's also going to get another 200 magic fire damage. So that's going to be our main sword for a little while. And here we are. That's what we look like. Now our slashes have fire on them, as you would expect. Alright, now I know what you're thinking. Why haven't we replaced our shield? Well, it's because the same chest that had the sword also had the fastest replacement shield. Oh, by the way, we just found Malin. The Featherlight Pelter was the shield that we could have bought, or we could have got from that same chest. And yeah, you just buy 2 of these 4 knife off of her, and you're able to upgrade this arm that we got. Let's see if she can sell us the Featherlight Pelter. I wonder. No, she can't.
You'll find not. Thank you.
Up. Alright. And that'll close out phase 2 for us. Stage 3, we're going to do another one of the quests from our guy over here, Sir Maximilian. We have to recover a fallen fortress or something like that. It's going to be called a Fortress Besiege, and it's going to take us to southwest Gran Soren. It's going to be a Shadow Fort area. Inside the Shadow Fort, we're going to have to do a lot of fighting. A lot of fighting. However, we're also going to find a port crystal here. We're going to put our port crystal right outside the entrance of the Shadow Fort. Because you can't put it in. You can't plant it anywhere inside the Shadow Fort. You have to put it right outside the Shadow Fort. And then, once we're done doing that, we can come back to Gran Soren Inn. We're going to hit this notice board, and we're going to have a quest from Mercedes asking us to take her to the Shadow Fort. Now, one thing you might not know about escort quests in this game, you can just warp there. So what you can do is start the quest, grab your Eternal Fairy Stone, and warp to a port crystal you've placed anywhere in the world. and your escortee will warp with you, allowing you to not only keep them alive, but make an escort quest go from a long walk to a very short, like a 5-second warp. So once you've warped to the Shadow Fort with Mercedes, she'll give you the Lustrous Targe. And that is the strongest shield in the game. And when I say strongest in the game, I'm always going to be meaning pre-dragon. Stuff that happens post-dragon is not going to get talked about in this video.
Okay, the master works all.
So, what we're going to want to do is... Actually... Yeah, we'll do it now. We'll take 5 silver ore. We should have been able to get them from the ancient quarry quests earlier. And we'll go ahead and upgrade that to +2.
The master work come again.
And now the upgrade, we've more than doubled our power over our original iron shield. And the stagger power is not double, but it's good. By the way, that stagger power means the most on your shields. See, your ability to block an enemy's attack without getting guard broken, including perfect blocking, depends all on that stagger power and knockdown power. So if your stagger power and knockdown power is not high enough on your shield, sucks to be you. You're not going to be able to block. Alright. So now we've got the strongest shield. Next up, we're going to go get one of the strongest swords that we can get. This technically is the strongest sword that we can get, actually. So the bastard sword is gotten by doing another escort quest while we're in phase 3. This time, remember when I told you about fishing? So this is for Caxton. Now, Caxton, if you play the game multiple times, he's going to be your friend naturally.
And you like, what will it be today?
But on your first playthrough, that's not so true. So what you're going to do is you're going to go fishing. You're going to go looking for large fish. And as you can tell here, large fish are favored by men of Gran Soren.
What will it be? Have your come again?
Now, here's the thing about fishing. Two things increase your ability to get larger fish. Remote sites, difficult to get to sites, and nighttime. If you're going to, let's say, Bloodwater Beach, almost all your drops are going to be at least large fish. Especially at nighttime, where you're probably going to be grabbing a good bit of giant fish as well. However, if you're doing it on that Cockatrice beach that I showed you earlier, you're going to get a lot of small fish, and the men of Gran Soren are not fans of small fish. So that's just a heads up. So, speaking of Bloodwater Beach, this is a remote location. So, in order to get here, you've got to fight through the most infamous enemies in the game, the Iron Hammer Bandits of Vestad Hills, after going up this hill with a rolling boulder on it. Even more of them over here. Some Saurians over here. There's a non-zero chance that you're going to fight a Griffin or Then as you're working your way over, you're gonna run into some hobgoblins. If it's nighttime, you're gonna run into some ghosties. But there is a healing spring here, so you can finally heal yourself. Then there's Conqueror's Sanctuary. I'm not gonna spoil what's over there. And then finally, you get down to Bloodwater Beach here. Bloodwater Beach is a great place to get fish. As I proceed to pull small fish somehow. Alright. That's one spot. And all these things are random number generators, right? What the heck? What the heck? Well, at least I got a giant out of there. I'm not happy about all the small fish I just got. Last stream I did this, I got nothing but larges and giants. This time I did it, I got a whole lot of smalls. Looks like I was luckier last stream. If my sound wasn't trash, it would have been a good stream. Alright. But anyway, you need to give the bigger fish the larges and the giants. Well, not really giants because you can use those for a different quest. But you need to give the larges to Caxton until he starts. Well, he doesn't have to glow pink. You just need to. Just need to give them to him, honestly. Give them 2 at a time, and then it won't automatically update that nose board, so you'll have to just re-warp to Gran Soren. And then go check on the notice board again. See if it updated, and the notice board didn't update, then give them some more fish, and then keep going. From my experience, it took about, I think, 5 fish to do it.
It is our prey. Have your pick. What will it be today? What will it be? Have your pick. Come again.
But anyway, eventually he's going to ask you to escort him. He's going to want you to take him to Hilfiger Knoll. And you'll do that. Hopefully you've already got a port crystal down there so you can just warp there with him. Because there's a ton of enemies in this area. There are a ton of enemies in that area. And then you complete the mission, you'll get the Bastard Sword, which is the, by stats, it's the strongest sword by just straight up strength. But there's another sword that I consider superior coming up later. And this is what that looks like. Alright, so coming out of stage 3, we're about to beat the Duke. This is what we look like. We look pretty good. Pretty strong. Alright, going into stage 4 now. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to give the idols. Hopefully we have the real gold idol from stage 2. From talking to Simone, she would have given us the real gold idol if we did her quest the right way. Also, we need to be getting the silver idol from Put the Eye Out, which is a notice board quest in Catacombs. Once we've done those things and we rest 3 days, we should be able to go to Madeline, who will want one of the real idols, either gold or silver. It doesn't really matter what fighter. So if you want to give her the gold idol to get the sultry set, you can. because you're not going to get your best sword or your best shield from Caxton in this version and on this vocation. Eventually, she'll sell you a barb nails. Now, she can only sell you one at a time, it feels like. I'm pretty sure she only sells you one at a time. So you come back 7 days later after her stock respawns, and you can buy another set because you wear two at a time. What that does is that increases your knockback on enemies, which will make you that much stronger. Especially when you're using stuff like Antler Toss that's meant to do high knockback. You want that. Alright. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to find your way over to... By the way, if you don't know, stage 4 is after you've met the Duke. So everything we've done so far after talking about idols and stuff, that's stage 4. That's after beating the Duke. You're going to go to, hopefully you already have a port crystal here at the Greatwall. You're going to go to the Greatwall and you're going to go down a Leaper's Ledge. It's in there. Just look in the description of this video for Leaper's Ledge, and there should be a map of where everything is down there. Get the All Mace there. All Mace is going to be the strongest enchanted sword at this point in the game. It's got a permanent enchantment of ice instead of fire. And on your way up out of there, hopefully it's nighttime, because if it is, you could leave out the east entrance on this side over here, and then there will be 2 skeleton lords, and you can kill them one at a time in order to get the Lordly Emblem from each of them. So you'll get 2 Lordly Emblems, and once you have 2 Lordly Emblems, you are able to come over to Caxton or anybody who can enhance weapons and armor and upgrade your set of Aldous armor to 3-star. Oh, nice. It actually decreased my my armor class, my weight class, encumbrance class. Anyway. Now what? So next thing we're going to do is we're going to, before we accept the hunting expedition, right? So you're going to have 2 quests to pick up from Aldous in the castle at the Duke's domain. He's going to ask you to do Fornival's trial, or B, aid in a hunting expedition. Now, there's nothing wrong with aiding a hunting expedition, but before you actually do, go back to Catacombs here and pick up the quest called Wing Reaver from the inn notice board, and that's going the quest that it wants you to slay a griffin, and you have to slay a griffin to finish this main quest that you're going to do. So go ahead and grab that, and then you're going to get a piece of equipment from doing it called the Gloves of Might. The Gloves of Might increase your climbing speed when you're climbing on a monster by 50%. So you're not going to wear them while you're also wearing your armor set, but you're also going to have a different armor set that's composed of pieces soon, so this is not going to be permanent. Alright? Now, you're going to find the Fine Over Knee boots. And this, if this sounds similar to the Mystic Knight video, it's very similar because this is the exact same set from that video. You're going to find the Fine Over Knee boots over here at the end of the Windworn Valley weapon pile. Okay. You can 2-star these with Waterfell Gentian roots, by the way. And you're going to go to the Black Cat and you're going to purchase Marshal's Bracers. You can 2-star those with elongated claws from Harpies. Now you're not going to be wearing this yet, but this you can get them now. I look kind of weird in this, so we're going to keep moving along. Next up, you're going to go to Matthias, who is a vendor over here at the Greatwall. You're going to purchase the clerical hat from him. And then you're going to rob the Duke's treasury because you should have the Worm King's ring. Hopefully you do. For the Gran Soren. Alright, so for the clerical hat, you can 2-star this with the Monk's Periaps sold by Fornival. And then for the Gran Soren, you can 2-star it with 3 King Bay Leaves. Let's see what we can do with our just sitting around stuff. I do have enough Monk's Periaps. I don't have enough. Funny part is, it's easier to 3-star it than 2-star it. Honestly, if you want to go back and get another Lordly Emblem, it's probably smarter to just go ahead and 3-star this thing. Yeah, let's go ahead and 3-star this thing. Now, Lordly Emblem's not easy to get. Don't get me wrong. Like, you do have to beat a boss level enemy or mini boss level enemy, but still, it's way less annoying than getting 3 more of these. So let's go ahead and 3-star that one. Next up, we are going to go to the Noonflower Cliff Cave. I kind of gave you a sneak peek of what that looks like. It's over here in by Bloodwater Beach in the Waterverde Woodlands. We call it Noonflower Cliff Cave because it's the one place where you can get Noonflower. Then you jump across this cliff, and there's a cave. And inside this round chest here, not the flat level 1 chest, but the round level 2 chest, you will be able to find one of several things, but we want the navy leather gloves. Let's see if we get lucky. Nope, red long kilt. No luck for me. But anyway, I already had a pair. Alright. And then while we're at it, we're also going to pick up a rusted shield from Reynard when we turn everything in for search party. But before we turn in the journal entries, which actually ends the quest pretty much, make sure you buy this rusted shield off of him. And then that'll end it for chapter 5. So far we're getting a lot stronger here, all right? This time let's go to Barter Crags. So starting chapter 6. Chapter 6 starts when you've defeated a Cockatrice, which is a gigantic black bird type deal.
Oi! Come, don't be shy.
So this is Matthias. He's who I've been talking about this entire time. You can see he can sell you the silver holes in here. Go ahead and buy them off of him.
Come, don't.
I already have my own pair that's Dragon Force, so I'm just going to wear that. And yeah, this is the full set now. And here's Reynard.
Remember the... Well, now, let us...
As we talked about earlier, he can sell you, actually it's under materials. All the cloud wine you need pretty much. There's no way you're going to need more than 12 of those to make her pink. He also sells Fairlight Pelters. I don't know when he starts selling those though.
Now, pray.
Alright. Now, the Rusted Shield, we don't really need to do anything with it yet. We can upgrade it if we want to, but you're just as well to leave it alone. It's a personal decision for you. If you want to upgrade it in order to get to the Torpor at 3 stars, that's a you thing. Either way, the silver hose in where the main thing you need to grab. Next up, while you're in the Tainted Mountain Temple, which is on your way to the dragon, the path to the dragon. Matter of fact, let me send some stuff in the back.
Some walk here. How is this? I can. Tis my. Just name it, sir.
Need that. Need that. Hold up. I skipped something. Oh, wow. I got out of... Okay, we shouldn't be in stage 5 yet. It's fine, though. We'll backtrack just a little bit. Oh, darn it. I shouldn't have put those back. Those were the ones you actually needed.
Just name it. Come again.
It's fine. I know a girl. I know a girl who can let me get my stuff back out pretty quickly. Alright. So, Silver Rapier. Remember how I was talking about how Bastard Sword is technically the strongest weapon in the game, but Silver Rapier, well, this is technically the best sword in the game. Now look at this. Normally your weapons get lighter as you upgrade them, right? Bastard Sword is 1.63, Silver Rapier is 1.18.
I must only a stronger if there is all.
No glove, no love.
If there is all, pray.
Can well, even if he can't enhance, I know who can. I was about to ask, can Matthias enhance? But it doesn't matter if he can enhance or not because Reynard's over there too. So in order to get this, you just need to make sure that you do not save. Do not save Mercedes. That's all you have to do in order to get the sword.
Oi! Come, don't be shy.
Oh yeah, Matthias can enhance. So we can use him in order to upgrade our Silver Rapier with 2 more Lordly Emblems. So that's 5 that we've used so far in this playthrough. Yep. And now you can compare. Now, Bastard Sword is ever so slightly stronger in terms of damage, but look at the stagger. Look at the stagger, and then look at the weight. 1.00, 1.63. And that is why Silver Rapier is superior, because it's lighter, which means that you can hold an extra 0.63 of stuff without being average or without being heavy, depending on what your goal is. And then on top of that, the knockback's even higher. I think we'll go with Almas for now, actually. Alright. Cool. It's starting to get late. It's going to be nighttime pretty soon. And then, last thing we need to talk about is... Hold up. Last thing we need to talk about is dragon forging and, save scumming stuff in the Tainted Mountain Temple. So when you're in the Tainted Mountain Temple, you want to save scum two things. You want to grab, for sure, these darkened gloves, because you can tell the navy leather gloves, even though they give you fire resistance, they also give you possession resistance, which is kind of dumb. So instead, we're going to go for these darkened gloves, which have higher defenses, and on top of that, they're going to give you curse resistance, and curse is a much better thing to be resistant to as a fighter, especially because you're going to be getting hit all the time usually. And then dark over knee boots, you can. It's a personal choice here, because your fine lit over knee boots, you see that they resist torpor, which is a very important thing to resist as any vocation. Whereas these only resist blindness. But you look at the defenses, and it's just like night and day. It's like not even close. So, and it's just personal. Over here, you see that you also get the extra defense to fire as well. So it's personal whether you want to go for a dark over knee boost or a fine over knee boost. I still recommend dark, just to make everything copacetic. And then dragon forging. So when you go into combat with the dragon, you're going to use your best weapons usually. So you're going to be using Silver Rapier and Lustrous Targe. But when you actually kill the dragon, what happens is all of your equipment gets to +4, which is like if 2 stars is +2, 3 stars is +3, then Dragon Forged is +4, right? And in reality, it's more like a +5, +6 because of how much of a big of a jump it is. But you want all of your more interesting items, not your straight up powerhouse items, but your more interesting items to get Dragon Forged. The reason is because you're going to straight up be giving items that are better than the Dragon Forged versions of your Lustrous Targe and your Silver Rapier, even at base level. So your Dragon Forged weapons are going to be useless unless you're giving them to your pawns. But if you Dragon Forge your Rusted Shield, now you have a Dragon Forged Rusted Shield that can torpor an enemy, and a dragon type shield that's also very strong. So you have a strong shield and you have a torpor shield, and both of them are like really good, instead of 2 strong shields where you're only going to use 1. Same thing with your sword. You're going to Dragon Forge the All Mace instead of your Lustrous Targe here, because the All Mace lets you hit ghosts, whereas Lustrous Targe doesn't do anything for you, and you're just going to get a excuse me, the Silver Rapier, even though it's a good sword, it doesn't do anything for you. So, right before you kill the dragon, you're going to equip these 2 weapons. The All Mace and the Rusted Shield. But up until you're about to kill it, while it still has just a little bit of health, maybe like half a life bar left, go ahead and use these 2. Your Silver Rapier and your Lustrous Targe. Both the weapons you got from Mercedes. And then just swap to your All Mace and your Rusted Shield later. Alright, so for now, we'll go with these. Because they're already Dragon Forged, they're already going to be pretty strong. And that's pretty much the end of the guide part of this. I'm just going to go around and beat up some skeleton lords. So if you want to ride along for a couple minutes. Like, be my guest. Oh. Remember, you can aim this, right? Oh. Even with an ice weapon, they are no match for Heavenward Lash. Stop that. Alright. Everything makes sense so far? Hindsight sweep, counter, etc., etc. Blaza, blaza, blaza. Whip him out, riders. Blaza, blaza, blaza. Ooh, okay, cool. I don't die here. I jumped the wrong way, by the way. So. Darn it. I was hoping not to get shocked by them on our way in. So let's try this. So you use Antler Toss in order to hit. You can also use... Oh, wait, before I get hit. Yeah, it's so hard to hit these guys while they're trying to strafe. Oh, I hate that. I hate that for me. Anyway, if you're by yourself, there's no really way to get them off you except for you could throw a throw bass at a wall, or you can jump in the water. That's so lame. Alright, well, you're dead. Get over here. Come with me. Well, now there's two down there. Well, anyway, you don't actually have to fight these guys. I just did it to waste a little bit of time. Instead, you can just run through here. You don't have to fight anything, actually, in this cave in order to get through it. I'm going to demonstrate real fast. Just ignore those guys. There's also going to be some Saurians over here that are invisible. Just ignore them. They're just grumpy. They don't like being disturbed. There's sulfur Saurians, by the way, if you need some of those. And then you can just climb straight up. All right. Over here by this apple tree and fallen cart, we're going to encounter this guy. That didn't work. Well, he really doesn't. That was a perfect block. Oh, that actually broke my shield. That was a perfect block, but I couldn't block it. I don't like his broad slash. He spams the crap out of it. Oh, I shouldn't have ate that. What the heck? Oh, I'm getting screwed up over here. Anyway, I could have just done that from the beginning. Get a good block on him and then just go out a little bit. Let's redo that. I don't like how ugly that was. I was trying to get a perfect block and then some type of sword combos on him. Or at least knock him down with shield slam. Let's try this again. I'm gonna go for the shield slam technique. Shield storm. There we go. A little bit. Didn't knock him down though. Dang. If he already. Dang, it's too fast. The trade. Still ugly. I think it's because my power is so low with this shield. If I was using Lustrous Charge, I could probably knock him down. Matter of fact, let's try it. Just Lustrous Charge change. Alright, let's do this. No, we'll only use that. That's fine. Well. I just kind of brute forced that there. Lustrous Stars just said, yeah, nah, you just die. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you've enjoyed this fighter episode. Next time it's going to be Ranger. This, honestly, the audio sounded good this entire time. I've been listening this entire time to myself. But yeah, As always, I've been me, you've been awesome. Remember to hit that like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And peace. Maybe on the inside it'll look even better. Hold up. Oh, he actually put me asleep. Get up. I like that so much. I'm probably just going to use these for screen caps. But alright. Peace.